Hello, you're welcome to FinInvest Niger. My name is Tom Princeville. I'm a certified securities and investment specialist, and I've been investing for the past 20 years. In this particular video, I want to talk about the different types of mutual funds you have and their return comparison over a span of 12 months. So in this case, I want to start with the different fund classes here. We have the exchange traded fund, the ETFs. There is the infrastructure funds, specialized funds, balance funds, fixed income funds, Sharia compliant funds, ethical funds, real estate investment trust, dollar fund, bond stroke fixed income fund, money market fund, as well as equity based funds. So these funds are classified based on the nature of the assets they invest in, all right, the level of risk and other peculiarities that are quite common to each and every one of them. So we want to specifically look at the returns they made over the past 1 year. So let me start with the exchange traded funds in this instance. So this particular ETF had the name here is VGC ETF. It is managed by Vertiva Asset Management. This particular fund delivered a whopping 120.93%. That was the return in the past 12 months. That's covering January to December 2025. So the BCG ETF delivered 120.93% in returns. That's quite fantastic. So let's look at the infrastructure funds. These funds invest in physical infrastructures. That is their specialty. And in this case, the United Capital Infrastructure Fund had the highest returns, delivered the highest return. And the return here is 20.82%. 20.82% delivered by United Capital Infrastructure Fund. It is the best so far in that particular class. We now go to the balance or the specialized fund. So these particular funds, they have peculiar, a specialty they invest in. Actually, in this case, there is a fund known as the Clean Energy Fund. This particular fund invests with renewable clean energy in mind, and it comes under the specialized fund. All right, and the return here is 26.32%. 26.32%. Well, not too, I think it's okay actually. So the next one is the balance fund. This is a balance between aggressive investing and a kind of moderate, conservative level of risk when it comes to investing. So the fund is somewhat balanced between equities and other instruments, and the risk profile is a kind of balanced risk profile, not too high and not too low. So in this case here, the best in this particular class is the Stanbic IBTC Balance Fund. So the Stanbic IBTC Balance Fund made a returns of 48.81%. 48.81%. That is the returns this particular fund made. This type of a mutual fund made. Now, the next one is the fixed income fund. The fixed income, they invest in fixed income instruments like treasury bills, certificate of deposits, commercial papers, and other related other related investment instruments. And so, in this particular class, this is the best performing. The Marble Halal Fixed Income Fund. Marble Halal Fixed Income Fund. And the return here is 19.09%. That was a return in the past year. Now we look at the Sharia compliant funds. These particular funds, they actually invest in line or within the framework of the Sharia guidelines for our Muslim brothers this particular fund is for them. And we discovered that in this particular with this particular type of funds, the Stanbic IBTC Iman Fund had the largest return, and it returned a whooping 79.33%. You see, so you can still invest with morality, you can still invest with your values intact and still make money, as is represented in the result we've seen in the case of the IBTC Iman Fund. We've observed here. The next one is the ethical fund. The ethical fund are for those who want to invest, they want to make money, but they want to maintain their values. They want to equally invest with their conscience, at hand, still making money without violating any of the moral principles. This particular fund is for them. And I discovered that the largest return in this particular class is the Stanbic IBTC Ethical Fund. And the Ethical Fund made 52.76%. That's wonderful. In other words, had you been invested ₦1 million, you would have gotten 587,600 naira as gain, your returns. Now, the next one is real estate investment trust. This they call them REITs. They invest in real estate related assets, and then they invest in homes, collect rents, maybe do land banking and all other investment within that particular sphere of real estate. And the best performing in this particular class is the UPDC Real Estate Investment Trust. UPDC Real Estate Investment Trust. And the returns here is 32.00%. 32.00%. I think it's okay. Then followed by the dollar funds. All right. For the dollar funds, you discover that the highest returns here was 18.64% by Future Views Dollar Fund. This is the best so far in that particular class. Future View Dollar Fund, they made 18.64%. And only that, the next one is bonds to fixed income. These particular funds, they invest in bonds and also invest in fixed income assets. And then you discover that the Stanbic IBTC Conservative Fund was the best performing in this particular class, and this fund made 36.84% as returns. And then followed by the money market funds. The money market funds, actually, they invest in bank deposits, fixed deposits, certificate of deposits, and treasury bills, commercial papers, kind of fixed income, And then discover that the Altibrisco Savings and Investment Fund was the best performing in that class, and they made 24.34% Altibrisco. That was the returns they made in this particular regards. And then the last one is the equity based fund. This is my favorite, equity based. They invest essentially about 70% and above of their asset under management in the stock market. They invest essentially in stocks. That's what it's called, the equity based. Equity here means stocks, shares. And then you discover that wow, they had the highest return. Okay, the best in this class was the Halo Equity Fund, and the return here is 157.00%. Assuming you invested ₦1 million here, you have 2.157 million naira, in returns. That is, you must have doubled your money in the process. Please subscribe to this channel if you've not done that. Like this video and share it as well. I want to reach out to 1 million Nigerians with this particular investment message, and I can't do it without your support and relying upon you.